Alyssa Rice.
Josiah Mansfield.
Okay. Hello, I'm Elvira Deyamport. We can't see your...
Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you. We can't see your picture.
Oh, you can't?
No, we can't see your video. It hasn't loaded yet.
See. Well, that's no good because I put on lipstick and everything. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
How about now? Oh.
No, there should be a toolbar at the bottom where you can click on, it looks like a little video image, and you click on it and it should start loading up.
I know, you guys, this is the boringest Skype call of all time.
No. We're very
Hang on
patient.
1 second. I have Pubs working on it.
Okay, there it goes.
Is it there?
We can see you now. Hello.
Oh!
We're so excited.
This is Bean.
Oh, hello.
This is Bean. She's my baby girl. Bean, say hi. Bean. Floyd will probably come over in a minute too. He's the old man dog. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is so exciting, and I'm very nervous, and I'm also a rambler. So I'm going to count on you guys to keep me on task and ask good questions and all that good stuff.
All right. So do you want to start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and your work and your experience, and then we can get on with the interview?
Okay. So I guess the best place to start is, I always wanted to be an interior designer from the time I was a little baby girl right up until college. Never wanted to do anything else. I was the one girl in high school that, you know, pulled up my carpeting and painted my subfloors and drove my parents crazy changing my paint colors every year. And I went to college and studied interior design. I'll be very honest with you, I was a horrible student. I didn't have very good study skills, so I didn't do very well in most of my general education classes, but I really excelled in my studios, and I was very fortunate to have amazing teachers who really believed in me and were patient with me and supported me through college and helped me get through the gen ed stuff. So I was able to maintain the studio classes. And then I moved to California, packed up a U-Haul with my love, who I'm still with 15 years later, and we drove cross country and said, let's go try to make it in Los Angeles. And I worked at a design firm and ran some showrooms and did some things like that, and then the TV thing happened very accidentally. I helped a friend do an episode of Designers Challenge, which is a show on HGTV that regular designers get to compete for a job. And a year later, they called and said, "Hey, do you want to host this other show that we have, Design on a Dime?" And they called me at work, and I answered the phone, and as she asked me the question, I said, "But didn't you see me on Designers Challenge? I was horrible. Why would you call me?" But they had me come in anyhow, and I got the job a few days later. And now for 10 years, I've been very fortunate to be working in the TV aspect of what I love to do, which is interior design. And the nice thing about my journey has been that I found very early on that just doing design work was not super fulfilling, because in the high-end world of design, it just means spending a lot of money. What I get to do now is teach people, real people, how to design on their own and how to do it within their means, because we all are on a budget. Nobody has unlimited money. So that's been my journey. Now I get to help other people figure out how to do what I'm so passionate about, which is design.
Great. Well, we have a few questions, if you don't mind. We actually sat down and really thought about interior design and the field of art and just creativity. So my students Alyssa and Josiah are going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Can you explain to us what an interior designer is?
Sure. I think that there's a little bit of a misconception that an interior decorator and an interior designer are the same thing. Interior decorators specialize more in finishes, choosing furniture, specializing in fabric, window treatments. Interior designers have a little more training. I can work directly with architects and do mechanical plans. I can do plumbing, a lot of math, a lot of engineering know-how in interior design, but I think the most important part is that you are responsible for spending real people's money on one of the most important things that they have in their life, which is their home. So there's an aspect of being really responsible, being safe about what you're doing to someone's home, and really respecting that this is where someone lives and will spend, you know, the majority of their time, and hopefully do it beautifully and comfortably and feel safe and happy. Creating somebody's home is, I think, a really special, important job. Because again, you're helping people define their sanctuary. So I feel very honored when a client brings me into their home.
Do you need to go to a special school to be an interior designer?
Yes. Again, the difference between an interior decorator and an interior designer is that an interior designer has a lot more training, again, understands safety codes and things from an engineering standpoint, and that's where you have to be really careful. An interior decorator can't call themselves an interior designer. There are certain levels of qualifications and certificates that you can have. I went to a 4-year program. I did, however, not complete my 4 years, and that's something to know. I've been in the TV business for a long, long time now, almost a decade, and I designed for a firm where my principal designers were all accredited, but it is important to know that I did not graduate in my interior design program, so I can't say that I have all of those accreditations, and I'm careful about doing that.
What are the
I
necessary?
see another good question coming. I see it on your face.
What are the necessary skills you need to become an interior designer?
I think, you know, I went to school with several people who were great students, but not passionate about design. And I think you don't need to be like me and be one of those people that came out of, you know, the womb designing spaces. You know, I've loved it my entire life. But I think that it's important that you do have a passion for. Are you guys still there?
We're here.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something came up on my screen. I just erased it. I think that it's important that you have a passion for the arts, for aesthetics, that you're really passionate about creating environments. But additionally, I think that you also have to have the awareness at all times, and I said this already, but the awareness that you're truly dealing with real people's real money, and that you have to be conscious of how you're spending that. When somebody takes on a kitchen renovation, for instance, a lot of times it'll be the one time they do it throughout their life, and so every penny they're spending they've saved for, and they've really, you know, hopefully done their research, and you want to give people the most bang for their buck, the best that you can for their dollar. But additionally, you want to make sure that, you know, all designers want to make their mark and do something that's fabulous and that everybody's going to think is wonderful and beautiful. But on top of that, you have to, again, be safe and really practical about how you're spending money. And those are, I think, the most important parts of the job.
What kind of classes should we take in high school or college if we want to become an interior designer?
You know, it's very different now than it was when I was in school, because I remember hearing about the World Wide Web for the first time late in high school. And now, you know, you guys have grown up with computers in your homes and in your schools, and, you know, having access to information in such a quicker, more vast way than we did. I learned to draft by hand. I also went to a college that believed that it was important to become a traditional draftsman before learning CAD, which is computer-aided drafting, so that we really understood what we were drawing and what we were designing versus just typing it into a computer. So I took drafting classes in high school. I took them later on in college, obviously. I don't know if those classes are still available, but I think that in addition to that, your art classes, my best teachers in grade school and junior high and college were my art teachers, and I think that they instilled a love that is still a love for art that's still really relevant for me, but also just taught me how to use that side of my brain, the creative side, how to see things a little bit differently and how to think outside the box. But also math. I can't stress enough, math is really, really important in this field.
What got you interested in your career choice? Did you know you wanted to be an interior designer at a young age?
I never wanted to do anything else, although I wasn't sure when I was young what it was that I wanted to do. I knew that I liked decorating my bedroom. I knew that, I was always moving my parents' furniture around, which drove them crazy. I was always going into people's houses and telling them they should do instead of how they had their room set up. So that was always there. And there was a point in, I think, junior high where looking through, I think it was a JCPenney catalog one day, and said to my mom, there's got to be somebody who actually just creates these rooms, who sets up the bed, and how nice would that be? You just go in and make a beautiful bed and make a nice room, and then, then you're done with it. So there was a long period of time that I thought I actually wanted to be a set decorator, where I could really just go in and make things fabulous and then walk away. And I realized at some point that I also really liked the process of helping people create that perfect environment and helping people find that home sweet home. So it was at the point where I realized I wanted to be really involved with people in a really personal way, and also be able to just create really fabulous environments. And when the two kind of came together, that's when I knew. And I knew probably by high school. So I started looking into colleges that would help me get there by my sophomore year in high school, probably.
Where can you work as an interior designer?
Well, my path was when I got to Los Angeles, I worked in showrooms initially. Again, I didn't work with job placement or any of that at my college, because I took the alternate route and left school, packed up a U-Haul, did the cross-country drive, and said, I'll just figure it out when I get there. Probably not the smartest way to do it. But when I got here, I worked in showrooms, and then what I did was assisted a lot of designers. So I, what they call moonlighting, I moonlit as a draftsman or a draftswoman at night, and I drafted for a bunch of designers and worked in showrooms during the day, and then from there started assisting designers. And I still, to this day, Karen Haratunian was one of my great bosses and mentors. I learned more from her than I learned in school. And I think that that's the most important thing you can do if you are lucky enough to grow up and wind up in a field or a profession that you are passionate about and really love what you do. Find somebody who does it terrifically, who does it passionately, who does it beautifully, who does it wonderfully, and follow that person and learn from that person. And Karen was, I think, my greatest schooling, and I still on a daily basis, think, well, how would Karen do this, or what would Karen think about this? And that was, I think, the most important part of my path getting to where I am today was following and paying attention to people who do what I do really well. And I'm still learning from people around me who do what I do much better.
Describe a typical day at your job.
Well, today is awesome pants. I wish I could start every Monday this way. And because, may I share with you that I am still in my pajama pants, which is fabulous. But I think that it varies. I don't also have I don't have a typical design career, in that my job so much now is I'm sorry I keep doing this. I have a hair right in my eye and it's driving me crazy. Because I work in the television aspect of design, a lot of my days are production days. Anybody who tells you that TV or movies or the entertainment business is glamorous or fun is flat out lying. They're hot, long days. Anytime that you're in front of a camera, there are hot, blasting lights on you, and I'm a sweater. So trying to look, not like a sweaty beast all the time is difficult. And they're just kind of long, hot, awful days. But the best part about what I do is that it usually involves a makeover, and there's a happy family or person at the end, and I get to make a difference in somebody's life and work with really great people. But those days are most of my days are production set days. The other days I have a blog and I have a website and I write for different magazines. I do a lot of writing, so I spend a lot of time in my pajamas, which is great. You can figure out a career that you semi-work from home. awesome. The one thing I will say is you have to be very disciplined, and I'm not always. I tend to play with the dogs a little bit, drink a little bit of coffee, get a little bit of work done. And then there are days, and actually this week I have 3 days where I just need to be out in my car shopping. I have 2 private clients outside of the TV stuff, and I have to, you know, drive around and find things for them this week, and have a few meetings, and then I have a makeover next week that'll be 4 days on set, 16-hour days, and those will be long, awful days, and I do that for a week, and then the next week I'll write and shop again. So there is no typical day, and that's I think that's truer and truer about most industries these days, is that more and more people are working from home. So many of us can work from our laptops in our comfy spaces. I'm actually at my house right now, so there's my TV behind me. I'll probably turn it on in a little bit, put CNN on. And so there is no typical day, and that's really what works best for me anyhow about the way my job works.
Where do you get your inspiration for your design choices?
Everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Travel, absolutely. Anytime you're in a new environment with new things to stimulate you, it's that informs my my design vocabulary. I also check all the design blogs every day. I'm constantly online looking for whether it's another designer who I admire has a new project that's got photos that have been posted. But design blogs really are, I would say, the majority of where I get my design info on a daily basis, whether it's new products, new color trends. I subscribe to all the shelter magazines and I read all of them, and I still like I like holding something and having pictures to rip up and hold. So I still prefer magazines versus the blogs, but the blogs are my daily dose. And just everything around me. I just moved to downtown, so I live in downtown Los Angeles, and I live in the Arts District. I live in a old warehouse loft, and I'm surrounded by artists and musicians, and I'm actually surprised you can't hear a band playing right now, because there's bands all around me that all practice in their spaces. And my husband and I just moved from a house to this loft for that reason, to be surrounded by other artists and designers and musicians so that we could be stimulated all the time. And I think that if you choose a career that is creatively, that has a creative tone, the most important thing you can do, in addition to finding a great mentor or somebody who inspires you to really teach you, in addition to that, I think surround yourself by inspiring people who are doing what they love and they're passionate about. And even though I'm not a musician, I love being surrounded by musicians because it's inspiring.
Where do you get your inspiration? Wait, what is your favorite part about your job?
My favorite part about my job is it's 2 things. I love the moment where I tell somebody to uncover their eyes and see their room for the first time and know that I played some part in really changing somebody's life. And I think that sounds, a little bit cosmic and, oh, I just changed somebody's life. But the space that you live and spend your time is an important part of your life. And knowing that I had a hand in making that better and more beautiful for someone is really satisfying. But the best part about the actual part of my job is the people that I get to work with, the construction crews, the contractors, the camera guys, the sound guys, the producers. It's a tough job, design is, and doing design television is even tougher, and it takes a lot of camaraderie to spend 16 hours doing manual labor with hot lights and guys running around with cameras and all of that. It's a lot for a lot of people to come together and do that, and the best part about my life and my life work is that I get to do it with amazing people and form these amazing friendships on a daily basis. And then you do a new show and you get a whole new set of friends. That's the best thing. I get lots and lots of awesome friends every time I start a new job. That part is pretty rock and roll. I like that part.
What is the hardest part about your job?
Did I mention the hot lights and being sweaty all the time? That part, no good. That part stinks. And every once in a while you get your ideas kind of tweaked or turned down, and that's not any fun when you're doing something that you're so passionate about and you're so excited about something. I hate it when we have to compromise, from a design standpoint. But I would say there are very few drawbacks, considering that I do get to wake up every single day and do what I love and do it with really fantastic people. I've got very few complaints in life.
Do you have a memory you would like to share about your career or job?
Do I say that one more time?
Do you have a memory you would like to share about your career or job?
I think anybody who knows me knows that if you want to make me cry, this is and if you just say the word Alabama, I get tears to my eyes. But I was fortunate. I worked on the Rachel Ray show for 3 years. I was her on-camera designer, and each season we did one really special makeover or one special project. And one year it was for a high school in Alabama that had recently been devastated by a tornado, and we came in and we helped them still have their prom. And Rachel came in and cooked, and I came in and designed a space, and our friend Greta, who does fashion, came in and gave everybody dresses, and it was an amazing experience to get to this small town, because I'm from a small coal mining town in West Virginia, and the type of place where everybody knows everybody, and everybody helps everybody, and everybody waves to each other from the car, and you can borrow a cup of sugar from anybody, and to be kind of thrown into this small town where everybody knew everybody, but was not in the happiest moment, and to come out the other side of it, having watched this entire community of people really come together and support each other and support us and help us grow in the process. It was one of the great experiences of my life. I was there for 3 weeks, and professionally, personally, all across the board, one of my great moments in life. And that it's again an example of not necessarily that design can change lives, but I think helping people, being an active participant in helping change what's going on for people is really important and powerful, and I'm lucky to do that. I work on Habitat for Humanity houses as often as I can. Those are always amazing experiences. So I would say those are the perks of my job, that when I get to go in and do something that really matters and really changes a situation for somebody for the better, I can't ask for anything more giving than that.
Do you have any suggestions for students who want to become interior designers?
I would say, I know I already kind of touched on, finding somebody who's inspiring to you and paying attention. But working for Karen Haratoonian, again, my boss and mentor, was one of the best things I could have done to ensure that long term I have the skills and also the passion to continue doing what I want. I think finding a community of people, a person who inspires you, and working closely with that person is important. I got my first subscription to Architectural Digest at 11. I've been subscribing for that long. Fill your brain with anything stimulating that you can, anything that informs you aesthetically. Everything that I learned in college was wonderful, but 99% of what I know about design, I know from seeing it, from experiencing it, from finding it. So I'm constantly informing the visual side of my brain by just trying to see things. The education aspect is very important, but I think that you obviously have a great teacher, because thanks for having me. This is very exciting. And you have a teacher who's interested and cares and wants to inform you in new and exciting ways. And the most important thing I can say to speak to your education is that you are as responsible for the people around, for what you get out of your education, as the people who are providing it. So, pay attention, but also I think ask questions. Look for outlets within your education that you think can be more helpful to you. And then I bonded with my art teachers. That was the most important thing that I think that I did. And look to those instructors and those teachers to help you figure out how to get the best out, the most out of your education. Ask a lot of questions. That's the most important thing you can do.
that concludes our interview. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We're going to definitely
Absolutely.
blog. We're going to have our own class blog. We're going to definitely blog about this experience. We're very excited to have you. Can I introduce you to the rest of the class real quick? Is that okay? Because they're kind of in the background doing behind the scene work, and they're working and taking notes. So here we go. Guys, look at the camera. On the left is Joey and Alex. On the right.
Hi.
Okay, and over here, let's see who I have over here. Here's Zoe in the front. There's Zach. There's Christian and Xavier in the corner.
And who's in the purple back there?
Oh, and this is our instructional technologist, Tiffany Freeman. We have a lot of people in here today. You have a large crowd. Robert Scruggs, another instructional technologist. And our principals are back here. See if I can get y'all. I don't know if you can see them.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been so exciting.
Thank you for your time and for sharing your expertise. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Enjoy a lovely day in California.
Thank you. Best of luck, you guys. You were fantastic interviews. You made this. I was very nervous, so you made it really, really fun. And just best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Having me.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Have a great one. We look forward to seeing your show.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. She's good. She's good. We learned a lot, huh? All right, guys. Let's see what we have. My vloggers. Let me turn this off.